Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share practical methods to solve one of the most common social challenges, mastering the art of small talk and transforming those awkward silences into confident connections. Are you struggling with things like this? Standing at networking events, desperately searching for something to say while your mind goes completely blank? Feeling your heart race when you need to chat with coworkers at the coffee machine, ending up just awkwardly stirring your drink in silence? Maybe you've experienced that painful moment when someone tries to make conversation with you, and all you can manage is a one-word response before the conversation dies? Or perhaps you've stood in an elevator with your neighbor, both of you staring at the floor numbers, wishing the ride would end faster? Many people have these same concerns, and the good news is that small talk is a learnable skill that you can master with the right techniques and practice. You know, the methods I'm sharing today might be helpful because they're based on real strategies that thousands of people have successfully used to overcome their conversation anxiety. These aren't theoretical concepts from textbooks, they're practical, tested approaches that work in real-world situations. What's even better is that you don't need any special talents or an outgoing personality to make these work. In fact, some of the best conversationalists I know started out as the quietest people in the room. Let's first understand why small talk feels so difficult for many of us. The main reason our brains freeze in social situations is that we're overthinking what to say instead of focusing on natural connection. When we approach a conversation, our minds race through countless possible topics, worrying about saying something stupid or boring, and this mental overload actually blocks our natural conversational abilities. It's like trying to juggle while solving a math problem. The more we think, the harder it becomes. Another root cause is that most people mistake small talk as meaningless chatter. They think it's just filling silence with random words. But actually, research shows that small talk serves as the gateway to deeper relationships. It's how we test the waters, establish rapport, and create the foundation for meaningful connections. When we dismiss it as pointless, we miss its true purpose and value, which makes us approach it with the wrong mindset entirely. The third major issue is that the fear of judgment creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're so worried about being judged that our anxiety becomes visible through our body language and hesitant speech, which then makes the conversation awkward, confirming our worst fears. It's a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. Now, here's where things get exciting. Let me introduce you to 6 practical methods that will transform your small talk abilities. Each of these methods has been proven effective by countless people who once struggled just like you do now. First, let's talk about the environment anchor technique. This is probably the simplest yet most powerful method you can start using immediately. Here's what to do. When you're in any social situation, take a moment to look around and identify something in your shared environment. It could be the venue, the weather, or the event itself. Then, make a simple, positive observation about it. For example, this venue has amazing natural light, or, the organizers really went all out with the decorations. Follow this observation with an open-ended question like, have you been to events here before? Or, what brings you to this gathering? The beauty of this technique is that it requires zero preparation and works in literally any situation. Within just 1 week of practicing this daily, you'll start naturally noticing conversation hooks everywhere you go. After a month, environmental observations will become such an automatic response that you won't even think about it. You'll just naturally start conversations without effort. The key tip here is to keep your observations positive. Avoid complaints about the weather or venue because negativity kills conversation energy before it even starts. Next, we have the 3-topic prep strategy, which is perfect for those who like to feel prepared. Before any social event, and this only takes 5 minutes, prepare 3 universal topics. A recent positive experience you've had, a current interest or hobby you're exploring, and a question about the event or location. Write these down in your phone notes if you need to. These become your fallback options when conversation lulls occur. For instance, your recent positive experience might be, "I just discovered this amazing coffee shop that roasts their own beans." Your current interest might be, "I've been learning photography through online tutorials," and your event question might be, "Do you know many people here?" or "Have you attended these meetups before?" The magic happens when you update these topics weekly to keep them fresh and relevant. Within just 1 week of using this strategy, your conversation anxiety will drop significantly because you always have something ready. After a month, you'll find you rarely need to refer back to your prepared topics because conversation starts flowing naturally. The third method is the active listening reset, which completely changes the conversation dynamic. Most of us spend conversations planning what we'll say next instead of truly listening. Here's the revolutionary approach. When someone speaks, focus entirely on their words without planning your response. Identify one interesting detail they mentioned. It could be anything from a place they visited to a project they're working on. Then, after counting to 2 when they finish speaking, this pause shows you're processing, not just waiting to talk. Ask a follow-up question about that specific detail. For example, if someone mentions they just got back from vacation, instead of immediately sharing your own travel story, ask, "What was the highlight of your trip?" or "Would you recommend it for families?" This technique is incredibly powerful because within just days, people will start commenting on what a great conversationalist you are, even though you're actually talking less. After 2 weeks of practice, natural responses will flow without effort because you're genuinely engaged in what others are saying. The fourth technique is the professional bridge method, which works especially well in work-related settings. Spend just 10 minutes daily scanning industry news, LinkedIn updates, or relevant blogs. Note one interesting trend or development each day. Then use this as a conversation bridge by saying something like, "I recently read about how companies are implementing 4-day work weeks. Have you noticed any changes in your workplace?" Or, "There's been so much discussion about AI tools lately, has your team explored any of them?" The key is keeping topics broad and accessible, avoiding technical jargon that might exclude people. After 1 week of this practice, you'll have multiple conversation topics ready for any professional setting. Within a month, professional small talk becomes effortless because you're genuinely informed and interested in industry developments. Plus, people start seeing you as someone who's knowledgeable and engaged in your field. The fifth method is the graceful exit formula, which addresses one of the biggest fears in small talk, being trapped in a conversation. Here's the simple 3-step process. First, summarize one thing you enjoyed about the conversation, like, "It was really interesting hearing about your project," or "I love your perspective on that issue." Second, state your transition clearly. "I'm going to grab some water," or "I need to check in with Sarah before she leaves." Third, end with a future connection. "Let's continue this conversation soon," or "It was great talking with you." This whole process takes just 10 seconds but immediately reduces anxiety about being stuck in conversations. The key is keeping your tone warm and genuine. You're not escaping, you're transitioning. Within a week of using this technique, transitions feel natural and confident, and you'll find yourself more willing to start conversations because you know you can gracefully exit when needed. Finally, we have the daily practice challenge, which builds your conversation muscles through regular low-stakes practice. Start with one genuine interaction daily with a service worker, a barista, cashier, delivery person, or receptionist. Go beyond just, "Thanks," by adding one observation or question. For example, instead of just ordering coffee, you might say, "It smells amazing in here today. Is that a new blend?" Or to a cashier, "You guys have been so busy today. When does it usually calm down?" Then gradually increase to 3 interactions daily. The key is keeping interactions brief and respectful of their work. After just 1 week of this practice, initiating conversation feels significantly less threatening because you've had 7 successful interactions. After a month, with 90 practice conversations under your belt, small talk becomes a natural reflex that requires no conscious effort. Let me summarize what we discussed today. First, observe your surroundings and use them as conversation anchors. Next, prepare 3 universal topics before social events. Then, listen actively and ask follow-up questions about specific details. Also, stay informed about your industry for professional conversations. Additionally, master the graceful exit to reduce conversation anxiety. Finally, practice daily with low-stakes interactions to build confidence. The most important thing is to start with just one technique. Choose the one that feels most comfortable to you. Please start with this today. Remember, every expert conversationalist started exactly where you are now. After watching this video, please try the environment anchor technique first. It's the easiest to implement immediately. Look around your space right now and identify 3 things you could comment on if someone walked in. It only takes 30 seconds, so try it right now. Practice this once today, perhaps when you get coffee or go to the store. You might feel a small change in your confidence level within just this week. Then tomorrow, try the daily practice challenge with just one service worker. These small steps compound quickly. It's okay if your first attempts feel awkward or if conversations don't flow perfectly at first. Everyone fumbles when learning something new. What matters is that you're taking action and practicing. Continuing little by little, being patient with yourself, and celebrating small wins is what creates lasting change. Some days will be easier than others, and that's completely normal. The key is consistency, not perfection. Remember, small talk isn't about being the most interesting person in the room or having the perfect thing to say. It's about making genuine human connections through simple, authentic interactions. You don't need to transform into an extrovert or change your personality. You just need to practice these techniques until they become second nature. Every conversation is an opportunity to connect, learn something new, and brighten someone's day, including your own. If today's content was helpful, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who might benefit from these techniques. If you want to know more practical solutions for everyday challenges, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. I release new content every week designed to help you tackle life's common problems with simple, actionable strategies. Let's solve problems together and build the confident, connected life you deserve. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your next great conversation is just one observation away.